Okie dokie, this is an example of how to divide polynomials. So you're going to take the first polynomial, the f of x equals 12x squared minus 30x minus 13, and you're going to divide it by x minus 3. And it says to write it in polynomial form. Guys, polynomial form is just a fancy way of writing something, and ultimately what you end up writing is the original polynomial is going to equal, the answer that you got. Oh, that's right, I need to switch to the other side of the stylus. Times what you divided by, called your divisor, plus your remainder. Sorry, I'm running out of space. So remainder, that's terrible. But I'll write it again so that you see it. I'm now trying to switch the other side of the stylus and it's breaking on me. So, there's always that. Okay. So long division, right? We are going to write our big old bar, right? Our division bar. We write our dividend underneath 12x squared minus 30x minus 13. I do not need any placeholders. I have an x squared, an x, and then a constant, and I am dividing by x minus 3. All right, just like long division, you're trying to figure out how many times something goes into it. So x goes into 12x squared a total of 12x times. So you actually write your 12x in the x column, and then you are going to basically distribute the 12x times the x and the 12x times the 3. So when I do 12x times x, I get 12x squared. And when I do the 12x times the 3, it's a minus 36x. So just like normal long division, you then subtract what you've got. Okay? And so subtracting down the column, my 12x squared minus my 12x squared, that's 0, that's gone. And then when I do my negative 30 minus a negative 36, negative 30 minus a negative 36 is negative 30 plus 36, and so that is a 6x. Okay. Just like long division, we bring down, oh, that's not doing a very good dash line. We bring down the next line, so 6x minus 13, and you repeat the process. How many times does the x go into 6x? That goes in 6 times. So you write a plus 6, and notice that it's actually going in the constant column, right? Because there's my constant here, there's my constant there. I'm sorry that 6 looks so weird. And then you, again, are going to take this 6, and you're going to multiply it by the x. You're going to take this 6, you're going to multiply it by the technically negative 3. So when we do that, we get 6x and a negative 18. And you, of course, are subtracting that quantity. And you have to watch your signs, because if you subtract that quantity and you're not watching your signs, then you get the wrong answer. So when you do that, 6x minus 6x is 0. That's the whole point of that. Negative 13 minus a negative 18 is a positive 5. Okay, so you could write, like sometimes you would write your remainder plus 5, or you can write it as plus 5 with, over the divisor, 5 over x minus 3. You may have seen that before. And so really, guys, the only difference between what I just wrote here, and let me see if it'll highlight it. It might not highlight it. We'll highlight it in yellow. So the only difference between what I wrote here, that's a terrible highlighting, but I hope it didn't like cover everything, and then how I actually need to write it is this. When I ask you to write it in polynomial form, okay, I'm shrinking that so we can get what we need. You write the original polynomial that you were dividing. So I was trying to take, the original was f of x is 12x squared minus 30x minus 13 equals, so that original polynomial equals, okay, the answer that we got was the 12x plus 6 up top on the division bar. Our divisor was what we divided by, was x minus 3 plus our remainder of 5. That's all it means. Polynomial equals the answer you got when you divided times what you divided by plus your remainder, or if it happens to have, minus a remainder, then that's the same thing. Okay? So that's one example. I'm going to go find another one that has like we need placeholders and we're dividing by extra things, okay?